Hello everyone and welcome back to Project Ozone Reloaded Titan mode. Let's take a look at the power system that I adjusted a little bit between episodes. At the end of the last episode there were 8 of these culinary generators here. There are now 12 because I needed additional power in part to make sure that these ran steadily all the time and to handle fuel processing. This is my machine for making toast sandwiches. Wheat goes in here as well as flint. This is also where it dumps the seeds that it has as a secondary output. And it's pulled into a sag mill where it's ground into flour. The flour then goes up to an alloy smelter that is going to bake it into bread, which then sends it up to another alloy smelter which bakes the bread into toast, and it's then divided up between 2 of these Buildcraft auto workbenches which make toast sandwiches. And one of the reasons for using the Buildcraft auto workbench at this point is that I simply don't have the cyclic assembler yet. These are very slow. They work, they don't require any power or anything like that, but they are very slow. So I need to replace those whenever I get far enough along in thermal expansion. Now, the other thing that is maybe slightly interesting that has transpired is I made a gateway to the ether. And just as described in the quest journal, to make a gateway to the ether, you set up a nether gate formation out of glowstone blocks and you put a bucket of water in it. And as you can hear from the sound that played there, it makes a much nicer sound than the nether gate. I'm probably not going to go back to the ether at this point for a while. I went there and it's really a pretty nasty place. Stuff was shooting at me, and the ether gate itself emerged on the side of a precipice, so stuff is shooting at you and prone to knock you in the void. I really would almost prefer to have flying before I go back, but I really don't think I'm going to get quite that far along. I'll probably be going back sooner than that, but I'll have to be very careful about it. Otherwise, not much is new. I do want to go ahead and get quests done today, and I don't have any done up front, but I would like to go and get something done in, if not every chapter, then close to every chapter. Let's start with Alpha. In Alpha, there are 2 things I'd like to do today. One is to do the enchanting table, not because I want any enchantments at the moment, but because it unlocks 2 quests elsewhere. And the other one is to do the coke oven because it's necessary to progress through this quest line here that includes pneumatic craft and immersive engineering. Immersive engineering, it looks like we're going to set up some power systems similar for magnetic craft. Magnetic craft has ore tripling available. It's a little bit involved to make it. I don't think that I'm quite ready to do that on materials yet, and certainly not on automation, but it is a nice feature. And prior to getting mechanism or quintupling, which is a very involved process, it's probably about the best we can do on a lot of the ores. Anyway, let's look at the enchanting table first because I'm very curious about what that will unlock. When we come down here, I did look up the recipe for this already. It is the vanilla recipe, which is nice because something that I made is not. Let's see, 4 obsidian, 2 diamonds. Where are those diamonds? There they are. I processed all of my nether diamond ore, so I have a fair number of diamonds at this point. I'm sure they won't feel that way after a little while. So we need a book on top. I don't know why I got 2. And now we have an enchantment table. So let's see what let's finish that quest and see what it unlocked. Half a heart is nice. I've gotten a little better organized here in some ways. Chance cubes are actually in here because I made some compacting drawers. I was having a lot of trouble storing my metal ingots at this point, and I wanted to standardize on the appearance of the thermal expansion ores. So it opened things up on other pages, and I don't know what that might have been. Nothing on this page. On Gamma, everything that's on this one was already open. Delta, on Delta it opened up uh, the enchanter from, this is from Ender IO, which is pretty nice because I believe it lets you, yeah, it lets you pick the enchantments you want. There will be another way to do that in here with magical crops, but this is actually pretty nice, and I'll probably make that fairly soon if I can. So what else did that open up? Epsilon still looks the same. Theta. Everything there was done. So it looks like it opens something else up that I just don't have completely unlocked anywhere. So the other thing I want to do on the alpha chapter is I want to make the coke oven bricks here. I need 27 of them. Let's take a look at that recipe. It's clay on the corners, bricks on the edges, and chiseled, well, just any sandstone in the center. It makes 2 of them, so I'm going to have to do 14 combines to get 27 of those bricks. Like this machine over here, which I did move downstairs, it was upstairs. The blast furnace, the coke oven, is used in immersive engineering really for the same purpose that the equivalent machine is used for in railcraft, if you're familiar with railcraft. This one makes steel, and the coke oven makes coal coke or charcoal and creosote oil. So I went ahead, I think, and I made plenty of bricks. So I've got bricks, clay, and let's get some sand here. So I need 14 sand. I'll just make 16. And this one I really would prefer to make 14. Let's just pull a couple of bricks to make sure that happens. Alright, so we now have the coke oven bricks. Let's go ahead, and it's going to give me some creosote oil right away. That might prevent a wait on something at some point. So it's finished that, and that opens up treated wood next. Treated wood, I don't have enough creosote oil for it because they only gave me 3 and I'd need 8 to make that many planks. For now, I'll just tuck this away. And let's go ahead and go over here and set that machine up. Do I have any slabs for the top? I don't. I'll just put a light up there for now. I try to be careful on these big multi-block machines to put either slabs or lights at the top so I don't have a problem with mobs spawning up there. Unlike the Railcraft one, which is a hollow cube like this, the immersive engineering one is solid. That was also true of the blast furnace when I set that up. And rather than forming automatically, I need to use an engineer's hammer on it. And it will form that big opening, and we'll be able to make charcoal and creosote oil out of it. Let's go ahead and grab some wood and do that. So it shows a flame there when it's working. And I don't need that. And what I can do with the hearts is I can combine these two to get a half, and combine those two and get a full heart, and add to my life total. I have 5 lives remaining. Let's see what's in the other bags. Mana lenses and a falling belt. I didn't need the falling belt. The mana lenses may be nice. One thing that I never mentioned, I actually did mention it when I got it, but it was in a video that didn't work out, and so I had to redo it, was I got a Zavicio chest plate out of a reward bag. That was really nice, and I'm hoping that will provide me with some nice armor for quite a while. This would provide flying if I have the full set, but I don't. So let's go upstairs and look at the next quest to be done. I'm going to go ahead and put these mana lenses over here in the Botania area, since I do have a chest here for those. So next on the agenda, if we move down to beta, I would like to go ahead and there are 2 things I can do. One of them is redstone plant here, make some redstodendron seeds. I've crossbred them over here. I just haven't picked them up off the ground yet. Let's do that. So coming in here, it looks like we finished that now, and we'll get another chance cube that we're too afraid to use. Usually when I crossbreed these, I want to set it up to where it would crossbreed basically with a parent, because the parent will be 10, 10, 10, and I'll want to get that seed up as quickly as possible. The poppy is 10, 10, 10. I'll put that away. Okay, the other thing I can do up here involves sweet seeds. I don't want to use those. Let's go downstairs and get some. And that is, I want to create Minicio seeds so I can get started with magical crops. And the way that you make the Minicio seeds in this mod pack is you toss wheat seeds into a mana pool. And it turns out that I do have a mana pool, if I can figure out which side it's on. And it's getting quite a bit of mana in it at this point. I haven't been making any more flowers, but I've been getting black lotuses and blacker lotuses in my loot bags, and I've just been tossing them in there. So there we have Minicio seeds. That also finishes up an item on the beta page. So let's claim that. And we'll see what sort of, hopefully something good is in the reward bag. No, I already have that and I don't need more. Oh well. Now, since we're upstairs here, it looks like, was Epsilon open before? Yeah, it was. Okay. Let's skip ahead to Epsilon because I'm upstairs here. Although I'm going to have to go downstairs right away, I think. There's this compressed iron quest, and Pneumaticraft is one that I have not played with before. So, what it says to do, and I'm going to hope to get more than one, so I'm going to try it. It says here to blow up iron to compress it into compressed iron. And I am going to sort of assume right now, not having tried it or even researched it, I should probably have researched it, but I haven't, that what this means is just to take and blow up some iron with some TNT to get the end result. So I have set up a place over here that can hopefully handle TNT somewhat safely. I don't know that it will. TNT also is not something I play with very much. I'm just not the blowing up things type. And TNT is also something that has a recipe change in this mod pack that makes it much more expensive. If we look at TNT, instead of well, it's using gunpowder still, but instead of sand, it's using electrical steel. This is why I want to do more than one iron with it, because it's going to use 5 iron just to make a piece of TNT. And I will probably need more than this, but we'll see. So if I take this and toss it in here, and put the TNT on top, and I probably need a lever, don't I? Yeah. And get out of the way. Okay. And it looks like that is still in there, so let's jump down there and see what we got. It is compressed iron ingots, and I lost 3 of them, it looks like. But that is progress, and it's more than is required to finish the quest, so let's do that. Might be interesting to know if that will work with like whole blocks at a time. And you know, I want to be very careful with this sort of structure because it knocked my torch off. Alright, so that finishes our first quest in the Epsilon chapter. Next in that chapter is to produce a pressure chamber and to produce casings, which are used for mechanism machines. So this opens up mechanism and pneumatic craft. I really would love to have some of these passive power generation going, but it looks like it's quite a ways down there, and I don't know that I have the material for it. I will have to research that more and might try it in the next episode if I do. I don't know about this iteration of Project Ozone, but in the last one, those solar panels were and windmills were really good power generation for the early to mid game. So let's see what else is here. Going back up to the Gamma chapter, we have the chipsets, which I had not finished last time because it was going to take a very long time to do it. At this point, I have finished the chipsets. I went ahead and put a chest next to this thing and started having it make a whole bunch of extra iron and gold chipsets while I was at it. And I had it make some facades because I'd like to cover up some of this piping, put some of it in the floor and cover it up. Okay, so now it says that I have completed this quest. Let's get the reward bag, which I can't do because my inventory is full. Let's put the chipsets back in here for safekeeping for the time being. And we'll pick a reward bag. Now, this one does not say that it unlocked anything, but it did move us on to logistics pipes. And I definitely need that because I'm getting tired of not having any sort of sorting going on. It also opens up the Ender IO combustion engine, which I don't think we've got any fuel for at the moment. It would be nice actually to have a cow that produces rocket fuel, but don't have it. Let's move on to the Delta chapter for the moment and see if there's anything new in there that I want to do. Yes, I've already made a double capacitor, but for some reason it didn't give quest credit for it. Let me pull one out of here and see if I can get the credit for it. Yeah, so let's claim that. And I haven't made a triple one yet, that's fine. I needed to make capacitors for these alloy smelters to get them up to speed so that I could make bread fast enough to keep things fueled. The other nice one here is the reservoir. Let's see what's involved in that. It needs a cauldron and a bunch of fused quartz. It looks like all the slots will work fused quartz. For some of them you can substitute thermal expansion glass that we don't have. Let me see how much quartz I've got. I have 64 quartz. I'd need 8 fused quartz, so really that's just 32. Let me come up here and we'll put that in the oven and cook it up. Alright, so that's going to take a while. While that's going, let's open up the books and then I'll have to put stuff away. Or processing upgrade, fortune cookie, help, I'm trapped in fortune cookie paper, please print plate stenciling factory. Okay. Walrus. Oh yeah, everybody loves the walrus. Let's just put a walrus down here. Right there where it's in the way. Probably not the best place to put the walrus. Let's put it. It wants to face the wrong way. Let's see if I can get it over. There we go. That's a little better. So it looks like I've got that. Let me put all that stuff away and I'll be right back. Okay, it looks like all the quartz has cooked up, so I've got 8 fused quartz. One thing while I'm up here is I was looking at the Minicio seeds, and Magical Crops here is set up so that if you just plant the seed on the ground, which I can't do anymore because I've processed it once here through AgriCraft, if you do that, the crops will damage you, which is a default behavior in Magical Crops. However, if you go ahead and set it up using AgriCraft here, not only do I think you'll be able to improve it a little better with and not have to use a hoe to get the greater yield. That's my guess. I haven't tried that much yet, but you can stand right on top of it without taking damage, which is a lot more convenient for harvesting it. So I will probably be using AgriCraft for my Minicio for the time being, and maybe for all the AgriCraft crops. We'll see. So let's run back downstairs and make that reservoir. I needed a cauldron, which I'm going to guess might be the vanilla recipe until I'm proven wrong. There we go, a cauldron and fused quartz, and that's going to give us 2 of them. And you know, I'm going to have to make another 2 of them before I can use this. I will put these aside for the moment and do that between episodes. But I think that did finish the quest, so let's go ahead and claim the reward. And put this aside for the moment. And the bag had a rotten heart, which I definitely do not want. We'll toss it out into the void there if we can. It's a little hard to throw things out into the void over a fence. Okay, there we go. Incidentally, this water that's coming down the edge is a pretty nice visual effect, and I may do something similar eventually. The main reason it's there, though, is when I built this platform here, I wanted to line up the edges with the top platform, so I just put some water up against the edge. So that allowed me to easily position this platform, make it the same size, and position it directly underneath the other one. Okay, so I think, did we have anything that actually covers all of the stuff that I really wanted to get done today? Let me see, there's a little bit of time, so let me see if there's any of these others that can just really be done right now. It looks like we've done everything that I was really for sure going to try and do in this episode. However, I do want to go ahead and get logistics pipes going if we can. Let's look at the logistics power junction recipe and the soldering station recipe. The logistics power junction is just using the default recipe here. That's fine. I have the materials for that. The soldering station, I don't know if this is the default recipe. It looks like it probably is, but I definitely have the materials for that one too. So let's go ahead and finish that quest so I can start making logistics pipes, because I am tired of all the manual sorting. So I'm going to need to make a crafting table. And aside from that, I'm going to need a bunch of iron and a bunch of redstone. So just coming over here and making a block out of the redstone and putting some iron along the top here. There's our power junction. Now to do the soldering station, it was a crafting table on top, redstone at the bottom, and iron up and down the sides. So now we have that. And we finished this quest, claim the reward. That one doesn't open up anything new. So the next logical thing to do with logistics pipe will probably be to explain how it works. I've done that before in my previous episode, but logistics pipes at this point in the game is probably one of the most important mods that you could actually open up. And I know a lot of people use AE instead as early as possible. So I am probably going to go ahead in the next episode and explain some of how logistics pipes works. But I'm going to go ahead and start using it right away because I really need to get items sorted out a little better and make it so that I don't have so much clutter going on. So I'm going to go ahead at this point and call it an episode. If you enjoyed the episode, please feel free to like, subscribe, comment, and share. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.